question is, you've talked a lot about targeting options on social media, but recently they've removed some targeting. How do you target for things they've removed for? So if you're unfamiliar, essentially within Facebook recently, and it's kind of ongoing, it continues to change even as we use the platform. They're removing targeting options, and this kind of started back in 2016 after the Cambridge Analytica stuff. They started to remove some targeting options, and they've continued to do that ever since then. So they've continued to actually remove different things that they view as people maybe being able to use to be discriminatory or things like that. So occasionally you'll go in to use an audience maybe you've used in the past, and you'll find out that it'll have a red warning and saying some targeting options have been eliminated. And this person's asking, when those targeting options are eliminated, but it's somebody that you want to target, is there any way to get around that? So first off, obviously Facebook's doing it for a reason. Some of the more common ones are with regard to race, demographics, male or female, different things like that. With regard to certain things like employment, if you're posting a help wanted, you have to put it in a certain range. You can't just target certain areas, or you can't target certain age groups, because that could be considered discriminatory. So some of these things Facebook is designed so that you can't use it in such a way that would be discriminatory. However, there's other things that they've taken away that I could kind of maybe see where they're coming from, but you might have a need for them. A lot of our clients like to target homeowners, people that own homes in a given area that they're servicing, because the services that they provide aren't really relevant to somebody that doesn't own a home. Say it's a home improvement product or something like that. Well, if you're renting, you typically aren't going to want to buy something for a piece of property that you're renting. So it really, targeting homeowners can be valuable. So one of the things that Facebook took away, though, was the ability. They used to have a demographic targeting area for homeowners, and they no longer have that. So if you want to target homeowners, but that option is not available, what are some of the ways you can do that? So what we try to do when we're approached with something like that is think of some other things a homeowner might be interested in that maybe exclusively a homeowner would be interested in that a non-homeowner wouldn't be. So for example, something like a home refinance loan, like a mortgage refinance loan, basically mortgage loans, home equity loans, things like that might be something that you could target, because those are interest demographics that you can target. People that are interested in home equity loans. Well, guess what? People that are interested in home equity loans probably own a home. So that's one way to sort of differentiate. Even though you're not targeting homeowners, you're targeting things that are unique to homeowners. The other thing you can target are things like home remodeling or things like that. Again, people typically aren't spending money if they're renting a property. So if you target things, if you sit there and think whether it's homeowners or other things that you're trying to target, if you think of things that would be unique to that interest group that they would be interested in, and you target for that in a roundabout way, you've actually targeted for people that are homeowners. So again, without getting too far siloed down into homeowners, just start to think about something that you're trying to target and think about things that would be specific to that. And then, Jeff actually commented like appliances, like what, like if there's an interest target, you can always type in and it'll tell you whether there's interest targets or not as you're trying to target. So not everything is going to have an interest target, but if you start typing in things like refinancing my home or home mortgage loan or home equity loans or reverse mortgages or things like that, you'll be able to see what is available to target from, and then you'll be able to target for that. So you just have to play around with it a little bit, but you can actually figure out ways to target for interest demographics that Facebook has taken away. You just have to be a little bit smarter about it, and you have to work a little bit at it. But the nice thing is once you build that audience, say that you consistently target homeowners, you can save that audience as your company's homeowner audience. And as long as Facebook doesn't take away any other interest graphs, you've done that work, but you've done it one time, and then you can save that audience as your homeowner audience, and you're good to go from that point forward. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that answers this question. It is a little bit finicky and it's a constantly moving target because Facebook is continuing to remove some targeting as we speak. Like every week when we go in, sometimes there's different targeting that was available last week that's no longer available. Also, sometimes there's new targeting that's added. So if you're not in those audience graphs checking things, sometimes you can miss out on some targeting that has become available, or sometimes you have to figure out another way to target something you had been using. So